Hi, I'm Katie LeBranch, and I'm a knowledge-based content specialist for Rosetta Stone. If you're a writer like me and an introvert like me, networking might seem like the bane of your existence, but it doesn't have to be. Try to forget about the stereotypical kind of networking, wandering around a room, holding a drink, talking to people that you don't know. I consider this passive networking, and you're usually not successful. Instead, be purposeful about networking. Seek out people to make mutually beneficial professional relationships. I call this active networking, and as a writer, especially within a large company, it is crucial to be successful. What I mean is, it is crucial for writers to connect with other people to be good at their jobs. As much as most of us would like to, we can't just sit in a corner with our laptop and coffee and never talk to anyone. We must interact, form connections, and learn from people with both similar and different skills in order to be successful. In my experience, there are three main kinds of people that writers need to connect with. And the first one is product support specialists.
So I manage our enterprise and education product support team, and so our team triages all post-implementation client inquiries.
So we already work together a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think now that you have a dedicated writer for the support site that your job is easier, or do you guys miss writing for the support site?
My job is absolutely easier now that we have someone who can assist us on on kind of actually implementing the support site. There needs to be, just a lot of attention to it for it to be done well. So, yeah, I think that is having someone else who can actually administer that, have the attention to detail that is needed, is really important. So.
Next, graphic designers. And so what kind of materials do you typically create?
So a real variety of things. Every day is something different. That's what I like about the job.
And so a lot of these materials have written components. So where does that come from?
So there's, on our creative services team now, we have two designers, myself, my supervisor, Don Denny, and we have two copywriters. And so a project will get entered, and if it requires copywriting, and I'd say probably in 80 to 90% of the time it does, the project will require copywriting. Those guys will work with the marketing manager to craft the copy that's going to be in whatever we're designing.
And so it sounds like you work closely with writers a lot. Like
Yeah.
in positions that I've been in with a graphic designer, it was kind of like sometimes I can see elements in the design where maybe content would work a little better, and you can see elements in the content where like it needs to be designed a certain way.
And so that's an example of how we'll have to work with the copywriter to kind of go back and suggest something that might work better for the application that we're involved in.
Yeah.
So.
And last but not least, you guessed it, other writers. And so I consider you another writer, right? So you have to write a lot of content.
Yeah.
You've been involved in a lot of our email marketing lately, writing drafts for those. So like what kind of content do you normally write for these projects?
There's a lot of different kinds of content, which is actually why it's so interesting and why my job is so much fun, because I get to do a lot of different things.
And so you're kind of like my other go-to writer in our department. I feel like we kind of use each other that way.
Yeah.
So do you think there's benefit in that, like writers working together?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, right? Is like having at least one other person who sort of is from the same background, like has the writing chops. It makes it a lot easier.
So we kind of like combine our Katie powers to write these outreaches
Exactly.
and content, and it makes it better.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It's not just like writing style and the ability to write clearly, but it's also totally about the knowledge that you have. Like we have different skill sets in a lot of ways, and so that has been helpful for me at least.
Now, depending on the type of writing you do, there may be other departments that are good to connect with too. But in my experience as a technical writer, other writers, graphic designers, and product support specialists will be the most beneficial to your role. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take my laptop and my coffee and go sit all by myself.